Well, it's still the 7th and it's still Sunday, and I'm still at Word of Faith. But anyway, we've done moved all the way along now to where God's getting ready to make some changes, folks. Because God's done looked at some situations, how it's going on. He's done decided that he ain't going to flood the earth no more, and kill no folks with a flood. But that didn't mean they weren't dying. And sons have sons, Noah's sons, each one of his sons had sons, they had sons, and they went on and they had a lot of sons, and they had a lot of daughters, and they was marrying and doing this, that, and the other, and having more children, and, more people was marrying. But anyway, these people still getting married today. But anyway, let's think about this. Now, there's a man that he's married. He's 75 years old. The man's name is Abram. He's married to his sister. Yep. And she's pretty too. I mean, she's a good looking woman. And her name is Sarah. And there's a nephew along with them named Lot. And they're going somewhere where God's showing them, where to go. But anyway, they going on out there, and they leaving, and they got there, and they out there, for a while, and I'm telling you, folks, if God gets to blessing some folks, they're really blessed. I mean, they are blessed, and God was blessing them with a lot of stuff, and Abram had his stuff, and Lot had his stuff, and they had men, and they had servants, and and they had, they just done picked up some stuff. God's blessed them. And it came down to it one day, Lot, or Abram told Lot that they needed, to split up. And Lot moved to the valley, and Abram, stayed up in the hills, more or less. But anyway, Lot moved down into Sodom, and some stuff really started happening after they separated. But they remained good friends. But it wasn't too long. Abram was out there, and some things has happened, and his wife's done give him another woman to have a baby with, and everything. Ishmael's born, and so forth and so on. And then it just got time that the things was going pretty bad down there in Sodom. And Abram was out there, in front of his tent that day, and 3 men showed up. And those men were going somewhere, and Abram decided he'd offer them something to eat. Well, they decided they'd eat. So he, got the calf killed and got it cooked, and told his wife to make some cakes. But anyway, things progressed pretty, on that day, and they enjoyed their meal, and I guess they got their feet washed and whatnot. And 2 of them decided they're going on down to Sodom. Well, one of them stayed up there talking to Abram, and this one talking to Abram, some folks won't like the idea, but it was God. It was God talking to Abram. Now, God can do a whole lot of stuff, folks, and Abram was talking to God. And they can't nobody but God tell folks, you gonna have a baby, or your wife's gonna have a baby, and the kids are, your offspring somewhere down yonder is gonna be a whole bunch of them, many as the sands of the sea, or stars of the sky, all that kind of stuff. And God even told him, that they were gonna be 400 years in captivity. I'm talking about they was gonna be 400 years. This is before Isaac is born. And it's sure before Jacob is born. And Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they knew God. If there was anybody on the earth back in that day that knew God, it was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yep. And Jacob had 12 sons. And one of them's name was Joseph. And anyway, a lot of things happened to Joseph, and he got put in prison. But there's one thing he wouldn't do. He wouldn't do what he wasn't supposed to do. He knew better than to take another man's wife, or get in bed with one. Too bad folks today ain't got that much sense. But Joseph wound up in prison. But he came out to prison, folks. And after he came out to prison, God was, seeing to some stuff that's going to happen. And when Joseph died, he told them he wanted his bones brought out. Anyway, folks, I'm not going to bore you with a long video here. But anyway, we're going to find out about his bones and what happens to them, during them 400 years. But 400 years is going to pass. And then God's going to get something else done, folks. Yeah. But it's not going to happen until those 400 years have, passed. And these folks have been into slavery. But they didn't really get into slavery too bad until after Joseph had been a slave. And Abraham and all the family came down, and they got him a little piece of land over there that designated to them. Anyway, it's a good day, folks. I'm having fun. I am having fun.